For us, oh Lord, who else sounding like this? They ain't made me what I am, they just found me like.
Madden Football brings you the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Saints and the Panthers on Sunday night primetime.
And we welcome all of our viewers inside a place that the folks around here like to call the Vault, and that's Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Just ahead, we'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game, and we got a great one in store, as it'll be the New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. Hello, everyone. As the postseason continues here on EA Sports, we're pleased to bring it to you. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And who has the edge here? You got one side that had some extra rest, but another comes in off a win last week in the wild card round.
And it's funny, depending on which team you are, you say that that's an advantage. You'll take...
Who will punch the fourth and final ticket to the conference championship round? We'll know soon enough as we are underway here on a January afternoon. And he takes this near the 25, just a little past there, call it the 26. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And he more than did his part in the wild card win with 3 touchdown passes. Now, he's going to get a bigger test here in round 2, but his unit is in rhythm, and they're playing as well as they have all year long. I wouldn't be surprised if this defense, though, tried to get after him early with a little extra pressure. If he can handle that, he can have another big game, though.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
And when you get into the divisional round of the playoffs, this is where having the ability to run the football is such an advantage. The defenses, they're generally going to be tougher the further you go along. So if you can get something established up front, it's going to give you a great chance to move on.
They keep it with Miller on first down. A new set of downs after a strong pickup of 16 yards. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. Here's 2nd and 10. In motion right, Olave. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 18. Just one catch for him last week in the wild card win, but getting involved early here and picks up the first. Pretty solid opening drive here, Charles. They've worked in the run game, the pass game, just steadily getting yards, and now they've got it inside the red zone here with an opportunity.
And the only thing they don't have so far is points. But the way that they're moving the ball now, that shouldn't take much longer. And they've established a great balance so far. Running, passing, doing what they want on offense.
Dancing to his left. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Kendre Miller. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Saints are on the board first here in this division round matchup. Well, first quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by a guy who has a couple years under his belt in the NFL, their third-year quarterback.
And he and his team, they were the beneficiaries of a first-round bye earned by a tremendous regular season. He'd been a little bit nicked up, so he could use the rest. And I'm sure his teammates felt the exact same way. But now it'll be interesting to watch their first few drives in this one. Because sometimes getting the rest is great, but sometimes you accumulate a little bit of rust as well. Maybe they come out flat, and they can't afford that in the postseason.
Young will set to throw. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
Excellent play there on third down. Give him 25 yards. That's his first catch of the game, and an impressive one against multiple defenders.
And how about that start? Really aggressive. Yeah, there was double coverage out there, but that didn't stop them at all. They went right at it and defeated it on that play.
Mechie, the man in motion. Now Young. And this one is incomplete.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
It'll be Young again. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Young working out of the gun. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on third down, and you make the home crowd go, shh.
There is a hush indeed. How does the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here? And for them, maybe a little carryover from last week's game. They got the win on the road in the wild card round, on the road here again in the divisional round, but they're hanging tough.
Hey, cue a little music, right? Well, on the road again. I mean, this has been kind of the mantra they're under right now, and they can't change it. The season dictated what would happen with them, right? They had to go on the road for the first round for the playoff. They're on the road again, and sometimes teams get really comfortable with that. Not only the idea of going on the road and shocking the world, but just, hey, it's just us. We don't have to worry about outside distractions. It's just us. Let's go play.
It becomes that us against the world mentality, doesn't it?
And while it may be overplayed, in the media, it's real when it comes time to play ball.
Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay.
Delay of game.
The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
Still third down.
And the delay of game penalty makes this much more difficult. 3rd and 8. Wilson. Setting up the screen for Miller. He's up to the 20. And finally taken down to the 25-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup. First down, New Orleans.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Now it's Wilson. finding Miller once more, complete.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Again, Wilson. That's complete to the rookie from Colorado. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Miller on the read option. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 50 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Again, it's Miller. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. We'll get a pause here. There appears to be a Panther who is shaken up on that last play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Now it's Wilson. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he is going to have a Saints first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5. Inside handoff now, Miller. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9. And it'll be back to a 3rd and 3. First carry now for Justice Hill. Well, he's not going to get there. That one is going to be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
They'll start on the ground with Hubbard. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
At the 43-yard line.
A give up the middle, Hubbard. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. What do they have for this? 3rd and 11. Young to throw it. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Chase Young in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. To the right side, complete to Miller. They'll wind up getting just a yard, and it's second down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Saints with a football here to begin quarter number 2. 2nd and 9. As they've got it as we resume action. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. To throw is Wilson. There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson. 2 yards on the pickup there. And 3rd and 8 now.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back in the 9. Jadeveon Clowney showing the explosiveness on the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense. They kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And taken at the 46. Following the punt return here, there's someone shaken up. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. And they'll run on 1st down with Hubbard. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. 13 yards, 1st down, Panthers. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast, the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
Call that a very strong gain of 24.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Here is Young. Touchdown! John Mechie. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Panthers are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Now the try here for the extra point. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it was all capped off by a John Mechie touchdown reception. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Now the Saints coming back out, ready to go for this next drive. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And they'll send the slot in motion left. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Olave holds it in. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
So on 4th down, Matthew Hayball on to punt. Taken right around the 44. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be the Panthers' ball, 1st and 10. Young now. Pass caught on the out route by Mechie. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. 2nd down in a yard. Young to throw it. And he slings one that's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They'll try and run for this with Hubbard. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. We'll get a pause here. There appears to be a Panther who is shaken up on that last play. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. It's Young off play action. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Pete Werner coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. On the handoff, running left is Hubbard. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll set up the screen here for Hubbard. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Chuba Hubbard, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Panthers have taken the lead. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Yeah, you're so right, because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, wherever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 14-7. So the drive there took 6 plays, and the end result, a Panthers touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula that got them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe they can get this game tied up.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Option handoff here to Miller. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time. 2nd and 10.
Delay of game.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Still 2nd down.
And now after the delay of game, they're operating behind the stick, 2nd and 15. Wilson. Quick throw there is incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
And that's incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here's Matthew Hayball now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 23. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The Carolina offense about ready to go. Their last 2 drives both ending in touchdowns. It's got them this 14-7 lead.
And it looks to me, and I think you're probably seeing the exact same thing, they're in an ideal spot now to create some separation. The way that they're functioning on offense now, they can create a pretty good gap. Allows their defense to play with a little more verve and confidence.
A big article in the paper this morning about them stringing possessions together for consecutive touchdowns. And right here, they're trying to make it 3 in a row. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Young. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
But that's a defense coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Straight ahead with Hubbard. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And he is going to have the Panthers first down. They needed 5 there on third down. He winds up getting 7. They'll run out of the gun. It's Hubbard. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. 54 yards rushing for him now as he has been strong here in the first half of this divisional round matchup.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
From the shotgun, it's Young. This ball caught by Mechie. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. John Mechie with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Panthers go up by 2 touchdowns in the second quarter, and already his second touchdown reception.
Absolutely the definition of a difference maker here in this first half. Clearly one of his quarterback's favorite targets in this game, and I figure he's going to draw a little more attention and coverage moving forward.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 21-7. That time a 6-play drive, and it was all capped off by a John Mechie touchdown reception. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Set to take over once again. Out comes the Saints offense. They trail early on the road in the playoffs. Not a great combination as they've got it 1st and 10. They begin with a run by Miller. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now. Hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they can let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll bring up 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The possession of the football goes over to Carolina. They have been red hot, sometimes white hot here in this first half. They're just looking to add to that total right now.
And this has to serve as a reminder to myself, because so many times I get wrapped up in the play calling, how they've sequenced things, how it's run. But you know, at the end of the day, it's still execution. Those guys out on the field, and right now they are locked in and really looking good.
They'll try to continue to be locked in here as we get ready to approach halftime.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. To throw, Young. Checks this down to Hubbard. And he'll be brought down right on the 50. A gain of 3.
Holding. Offense.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Young will set to throw. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Yeah, he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped. But I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Looking to throw, Young. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9 points.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Taken in at the 22. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Play action. Now Wilson. Underneath here to Hill. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
We saw a strong first half out of the Alabama man and former #1 selection, Bryce Young. He was slicing and dicing this defense and wound up with 3 touchdown passes in the first half. The highlights are fairly one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference here at the break. but I wouldn't call this one over just yet. I think there could still be some fireworks yet to come.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Panthers offense and Bryce Young headed back onto the field. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. And they're in the position they expected to be in. They've got the lead, home crowd behind them, and they're looking toward making that next step in these playoffs.
And I think a key for them is to put together some good, long, extended drives. Work to run it a little more with that big offensive line. I'm not saying get away from throwing the football. That's still working. But if they run it more effectively, they may get even bigger plays in the passing game.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Now Young. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. Despite a little power on the move, still tackled shy of the 20. So here's a 3rd and 14.
Brings up 3rd and 14.
Now Young. The Sanders has got it, complete. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down. Here's the Panthers punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. It's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. They'll try and get the run game going. This is Miller. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here's Wilson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Just a gain of a couple there. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. Let's see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. Now it's Wilson. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Well, look, we're watching a quarterback here that's obviously been around for a long time. That's a throw he wishes he had back.
He certainly does, but as you well know, this is a guy that's used to taking a few chances, used to fitting it into tight windows. These are throws that he's made before. Didn't happen to get it completed in this case.
Carolina getting set to take the field. Following the interception, they're set up nicely here, already inside the red zone, knocking on the door, if you will. 1st and 10. A give, running right, it's Hubbard. And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8. At the same
In motion, the tight end. 2nd down, another chance for Hubbard. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. Adam Thielen, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Panthers continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead.
So, my man, another touchdown. They're looking like the #1 seed that they earned throughout the year. Looking pretty dominant right now.
We knew the road to the Super Bowl would run right through this stadium. Somebody's going to have to come in here and beat these guys. Good luck. I don't think it's happening this weekend.
No, definitely not this weekend. And for anyone else out there, bring your game.
Buyer beware. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Saints coming out now to take the field. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Now it's Wilson. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
He's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively, and you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. That's pulled in at the 32. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5, and they will take over 1st and 10. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They're just looking to do more of the same. They were good in the first half. They've extended their lead so far here in the second half. I don't know. They're just looking good on hitting on all cylinders right now.
And sometimes that means a head coach who really has a finger on the pulse of the team may not have anything to say at all. May tell the rest of the coaches, just back it off a little bit. This team has it under control. I remember hearing about Bob Knight years ago in basketball, getting ready to give the final speech before the gold medal game in '84. And on the board, Michael Jordan had written, "Coach, after all we've been through, there's no way we're losing tonight." He didn't even give a pregame speech.
Wow, interesting. Well, right now, no speech is needed. Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. Out of the gun, here's the give to Hubbard. And he is across midfield from one 49 to the other 49. A gain of just 2. 13 yards remaining on 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 13.
And they'll go again here with Hubbard. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Now here's Young. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that's a nice job there defensively to blanket those receivers on 3rd down. And as a quarterback, all you can do is just loft one toward the bench. Not too close, mind you, and live to punt the football.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. The New Orleans offense set to take over. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
The tight end in motion right. Now Wilson. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down. A little tough on the secondary there. End zone defensively. Quarterback had time to survey and find a spot.
And if you want to change things up and put a little more pressure on him, you can go to man coverage. Everyone matches up and send more pressure. But you can also do it out of zone coverage if you're worried about what's going to happen on your back end. send someone else, drop someone else out of the line. The old zone blitz could come into play to try and get that pressure on the quarterback.
Wilson. There's a short one caught by Johnson. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. And he is going to lose yardage here. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
They'll try to run for it with Miller. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. 76 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. They keep it with Miller on first down. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And now you have to wonder, partner, at what point in time do they forget the running game? It's been a struggle so far in this one. I would think they'd have to start throwing it a little bit more.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Defense.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty. Here's Wilson to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues, and the chains move again. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. Johnson with a completion over the middle. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Here's Wilson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And the Saints are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
Miller, he is going nowhere in a hurry as he is going to lose yardage here in a big way. 1 quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Miller again. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Kendre Miller, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Saints have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept him out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on him. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Point after, right down the middle. And that cuts the lead to 28-14. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And now first downs are key. They want to keep that clock moving, up by 2 scores as they try to cement their place in the conference championship round in 1 week's time. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Throwing, Young. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Young now. That is caught. And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Here is Young. And he rifles one incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
On the handoff, it's Hubbard. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Young. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be. Young's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. On the give, this is Hubbard. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. So after 4 touchdowns in the game for this offense, this time they're forced into taking the 3.
But you did mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Saints again ready to go on offense. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Their hopes of advancing past this divisional round hanging by a thread, if that, as they begin here with a 1st and 10 on the wrong side of the scoreboard. He finds his man Johnson. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and it'll be 2nd down. Slot man moves right. Throwing is Wilson. Tries the left side and finds Olave. Now a timeout as they tend to the injured player, and not the man they would want to see. That's Chris Olave getting medical attention. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Now Wilson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Here we go. It's Wilson on fourth down. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
It's a gain of 6. First down, Saints.
Again, Wilson. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. In motion goes a tight end. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. Out to the left. That's where the tight end Moreau is. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's 2nd down and 5. From midfield now, here's Wilson. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
There he goes, and for good reason. Running with it has paid dividends earlier in this game and earlier on this drive. And until they prove they can stop him, I don't think he's going to be shy about continuing to run for first downs instead of airing it out.
That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. First catch for him in these playoffs. He was held without one last week, but he's got a first down on that effort. Wilson. Throwing middle, and it's complete. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. 2nd and a couple. To throw is Wilson. And the catch made by Johnson. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one, a first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Throwing again here, Wilson. And he'll find Moreau here. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd down. They'll run straight ahead with Hill. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Here's Wilson. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
He has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Juwan Johnson from 10 yards out. And the Saints' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Big 4th down conversion for the score and the defense. That is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
at the 38-yard line.
They'll bring a tight end in motion left. From the shotgun, it's Young. He gets this one to Mechie. He's been big, 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. Looking to throw, Young. Repeat of the last play for Mechie here. That's good. Completion there for 7 yards, and that's going to bring up second down.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 45-yard line.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Now here's Young. This ball complete to Thielen going across the middle. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle completed the Saints 35. To the air once more, Young. Looking middle, and that's complete. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that will bring up second down.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the Saints 31-yard line.
A give up the middle, Hubbard. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 78 yards on the ground for Hubbard. Is that last run a first down?
This has been a tremendous drive to this point, and this is all you want. Playing with a lead in the 4th quarter. If you can keep the ball on the ground, keep the sticks moving, you're going to be in good shape to finish this one off.
First down, they'll stay on the ground with Hubbard. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard.
Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. Second down and a little more than a yard here. Right back to Hubbard. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll run here with Hubbard. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On the ground, it's Hubbard. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Chuba Hubbard with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Panthers are moving closer to a date now in the NFC Championship game as they're able to extend this 4th quarter lead.
And that right there is a definition of a statement drive. You're in the 4th quarter, trying to get to the finish line, and here they were able to hold the ball for a long time and move it down the field. And how about them finishing it off with the touchdown run? Winning football 101, check that box.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Here's Wilson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 3rd and 5. Wilson. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now. There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And as a result, their playoff run may end right here. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
The Carolina offense about ready to go. And it would appear that that first-round bye certainly helped. They've looked fresh from the start and no letdown here as they lead big in this divisional round, and they look to book a spot in the conference championship. The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. 2nd and 11. Straight ahead with Hubbard. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5. The Panthers season will press on as we say so long, everybody. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Panthers are winners here as we say so long from Charlotte.